Hello, welcome to the Chatting with Dr. Stevel show. I'm your host, Dr. Stevel. Now, today's guest broke into comedy at the time we had to be funny to book a gig. Today, the man pays tribute to one of the greatest comedic legends of all time, Mr. Warmth Don Rickles. Allow me to introduce the Beast of Beverly Hills, or the Terror of Tribute, Michael Walter.
Hello, Dr. Steve. Hey, you got a couple extra squares you can pass me under the wall here? I'm not done yet.
You bet. One sec.
Okay,
There you go.
thank you. Okay,
No problem. No problem. Sorry about that. Yeah, I thought we had all that cleared up first.
I was trying to clear it up. It just kind of got stuck.
Okay, welcome everybody. There's a few people on the Dr. Stevel site. If you don't mind, can I get you guys to please go to the Chatting with Dr. Stevel site? This way, when we can see your live comments and comment on and make fun of you or do whatever
You
as
can
we
see it.
do. Right?
Yes, you can see it. I can't see it.
You can. Yeah.
I can. I'm half blind. I can't see it. I know.
Oh no.
I'm
Can I get
losing
you?
weight. Oh, no. You're in front of the red. I'm in front of the green.
I've got a call
Okay.
from Los Angeles right now for a gig. Can I get you to entertain for a bit?
Sure, not a problem. Are you serious? Oh, he does. Well, this is just me, Don Rickles. Nice to see you. You know, I've been a comedian for 40 years, and I was working a show in Laughlin, Nevada. I was in the topless review for two different shows. I was in a topless review for a year. My tits are still sore. I'll tell you this. And I lost my hair, and people said, has anybody ever told you you look like Don Rickles? And I said, no. And he said, well, you do. And so I obtained a copy of HBO had a show out called Don Rickles, Mr. Warmth, the Don Rickles Project. And it was a wonderful movie produced by and directed by John Landis. And it's basically the story of how Don got to be where Don was. And I watched that, and sure enough, there was some scenes in there where I did look like Don. And I finally got to meet him in 2009. I met Mr. Rickles. I got to go backstage, and I met his road manager, Tony Opasato, first. And Tony used to be Sinatra's road manager. So, Tony looked at me and he says, oh, man, I'm going to take you back and introduce you to Don. You look just like him. So I went back, met Don. Don looked at me and said, people tell you look like me? I went, yes, sir, they do. And he goes, you're a damn good looking guy. That's what you are. And I told him I did a tribute show to him. I was working on it. And Don's reaction was, I give you my blessing, keep my name alive. And Don, that's what I'm trying to do. Hey, look, Stevie's back.
Yeah, hey, sorry about that. I mean, I don't normally get calls from Los Angeles. So the doctor's got a gig tomorrow. Yoo!
Oh, good for you, Doc.
Now that I've stolen your thunder after that fantastic intro.
No, there was no thunder. Trust me, it was just
no thunder.
Yeah. No, it was good.
My friend Karen says, hi, guys. You're looking very dapper.
Oh, hi, Karen. How are you?
She's a friend of mine. She's my personal critic. She's going to let me know if I did well or not, and probably give me hell for doing that to you.
You know what, Steve? It doesn't matter. You told me to go with it. I did. We're fine. We're moving on now. You have questions for me? I have answers.
All right. Jamie Paget, you've met him, I'm sure. Hi, Dr.
Yes.
Steve. Hi, Wally. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, nice seeing you. He does a very, very wonderful Walter White.
Yes, he does. He sold me some stuff, but apparently I don't think it was legit.
Was it light blue or darker blue?
I don't know, but I think it was actually soap, bath soap, real bath soap.
Really?
So I was
like, are your nostrils clean now?
Yeah, pretty well. Woo, I was ready for COVID long before it hit. Let me tell you.
There you go.
I never got a chance to meet you in real life. I mean, I joined Sunburst Celebrity Impersonators Convention the year that you did not show up.
Well, I didn't show up to any of them before 2013 was my first. So I think I went to 2013, 2014, 15, 16, 17. I didn't go 18, 19, or 20. Well, 20 was canceled. I didn't
Yeah,
go 18 or 19. You must have started in 18, right?
I did. I started in 18. I was
Okay.
excited when I saw your previews on there because I thought, wow, I get to meet Don Rickles. This is going to be great.
Yeah, there was another Don Rickles before me that had attended that, and really nice guy. Looked so much like a young Don Rickles, but terrible diabetic, and unfortunately he passed away.
Mm.
And but God, what a nice guy! And I tried to help him out the best I could, but he had I think a horrible stage fright, and he'd get on stage and then just forget what he was doing. But super nice guy, and it was just a tragedy when he passed.
What advice did you give him for something like that? Once you get on stage, that's quite scary.
The advice I gave him was, he looked like a young Don Rickles, whereas I look like the, Don Rickles in his 80s. And Frank would daughter out on stage, and I said, you can't do that. You gotta be a bull. Don was a bull. You gotta attack. You gotta take that stage when they're playing that matador music. You gotta come out and be ready and just boom, 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 boom. And he he never could get that. He never got it, and it was sad because he wanted it so mad. And he loved coming to Sunburst because he had so many friends at Sunburst, which I hope you've done that, succeeded in doing that, and coming since 2018. Is you meet some people, and I've formed lifelong friendships with them, with Richard Hampton, with Greg Thompson, George Strulinger, Tim Sells, all these guys, people that I met there, uh, longtime friendships. And I've gotten
Okay.
more work from them than I have, from actual agents that have gone to Sunburst.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, I
Now,
think they're there for the free cookies.
that's what I was there for. It's like
Yeah,
cookies, really? Oh,
yeah,
that there, boom, I'm in.
yeah, yeah. Expensive cookies, but they're there.
Yeah, I know. Now, when I was doing my research on you, I mean, I said, okay, let's see what Don Rickles is about. I forgot, I haven't seen Don Rickles in a while, and then I
Yeah,
see your show, and it's like, oh my gosh, you are a rude, mean bastard. You are just insulting everybody.
I hate people.
I've realized that, and
Yeah,
then when I did my research on Don Rickles, I'm like laughing, but at the same time, I'm going, why is this guy not getting stabbed? I mean,
yeah,
it's
because he could get away with it, and if I'm doing him, I can get away with it. Uh, you know, uh, but on the other hand, you meet him in real life, sweetest man in the world. You meet me in real life, I'm all right. I'm a nice
all
guy.
right.
No,
And,
I'm a nice guy. People, yeah,
and that,
there is.
which one is you, left or right?
I'm in the tux. Don changed out of his tux and went to the sweater and shirt.
Now, did you tell everybody what he told you? The fantastic news, the
The
advice.
uh, uh, that he looked at me and said it was like looking in a mirror. And I asked him if I could do a tribute show to him, and he gave me his blessing. He just said, "Keep my name alive."
That is cool. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and I'm still trying, Don. That was probably a year before he passed away. His son had recently passed,
Oh,
and it just took a lot out of Don and his wife, Barbara, and they have a daughter, Mindy, who does stand up, and uh, yeah, the oldest son or oldest child, Larry, was 42 when he passed, and he was one of the producers of the Emmy award winning show, Mr. Warmth, the Don Rickles Project.
wow.
Yeah.
Now you said that Don gave you his blessing, but apparently not everybody thought the same way.
No, no. He gave me his blessing in front of my wife, in front of Tony Opasato, And apparently, Don's attorneys weren't sniffing up his ass at that point, so they didn't hear it. But they gave, he gave me his permission. And so for a while on my website, I said I was the only authorized Don Rickles tribute performance artist. And the attorneys got a hold of me and said, you can't say that because you can't prove that Don said that to you. I know Don said it to me. My wife knows Don said it to me. Tony knows Don said it to me. But we all know the attorneys are scum sucking bottom feeders. And, it's that old joke. What do you see when you see 1,000 attorneys at the bottom of the lake?
A good start.
Yep, that's it. Yeah.
We
So,
practiced that.
no, we didn't. We did that. Just that was sperm of the moment right there.
Boom. It's just how I feel inside. It really is.
Is it? And you let it out.
My buddy says, you're too nice. He keeps waiting for you to attack.
I'm too nice?
Yeah.
What am I going to attack? I'm the idiot that got up at 3:30 this afternoon, put a tuxedo on like I wear this around the house all the time. That is it. I don't do that. This is the first time I've had the tux on for almost a year.
Me too, but I only got half my tux on.
Yeah, so do I. I'm wearing my lovely Bermuda shorts under that. It's quite the sight.
A person called Jay Crawford says, as a tribute artist, ever try to recreate events? Example, Don on the Johnny Carson show is always entertaining. Finding a Johnny tribute artist and doing a recreation would be fun to see live.
We have that show. It's called The Tonight Show that we do, and it's there's a gentleman by the name of Tim Beasley that does a wonderful Johnny Carson, and then we've got a Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, and any other guests that you would want. And we have a show called The Tonight Show that we do where the Johnny Carson brings Rickles on, and we can roast. So we do that show, and that's available.
How do we find it?
I would tell you to get a hold of my manager, Jerry Nolan, in Florida, and he could put the show together. And I should have had this information written down.
No, well, guess what? I just learned something new, and so did everybody else. That's fantastic.
What's that?
About your Johnny Carson thing that you do. I think that's amazing.
Oh, yeah, we haven't put. I mean, we had they did in Fort Myers, Florida. They did a test run of it. I was not able to make that. I was in the hospital, but they did a test run of it, and apparently it went over very, very well. We had Rodney Dangerfield instead of me on the dais to do that with the Johnny Carson and Dean Martin. So it was, yeah.
A friend of mine, Dave Dolman, says you look a bit like Jonathan Winters as well.
That was the biggest compliment I ever got. I did that year at Harris Casino in Laughlin, Nevada, and people would come out of the show telling me, number one, I reminded them of Jonathan Winters and Don Rickles, which was a great honor because both of them I was huge fans of both. Jonathan Winters was certifiably crazy. I mean, he'd check into the funny farm about every 3 months. Time to go back and get recharged. There you go. Mildred, back to bags. We're going in now. Anyway.
Wow, that's cool. So you think you might be pulling Jonathan Winters off in the future?
I wanted to do that, and I need to go back and talk to Sarah LaSalle because I would love to do Maud Frickett. And I don't know if you know who that is, but Jonathan Winters, that was a character that he created, Maud Frickett. She had a little white wig and a black dress with a white collar, a Ruth Bader Ginsburg collar, and she would talk like this. Oh, it just makes me wonderful all over my body, and I've always wanted to do that. So the next time I go to the Sunburst Convention, which hopefully, if they have it this year, will be this year, I'm going to talk to Sarah LaSalle and whoever the wig person is to see if I can get a wig done for Maudie Frickett And then if you get a chance, look up Maud Frickett by Jonathan Winters, and
Absolutely.
you'll see. I could do that. The other guy a while back told me that I should also try to do Winston Churchill, and
Yeah, yeah. You just put
yeah,
on a hat like this. You get a
yeah,
cigar, and then you just
uh-huh,
like start cursing at all the Germans and stuff,
yeah,
and
yeah.
start pissing into the Thames.
Never before have so many men fought, and hey, look at that, a little tart.
Now there's a Johnny Miller. Oh, number. Oh no, two of my favorite bald guys. Try not to read
Uh-oh.
too much into that.
Oh, is that Johnny Miller?
Yeah, I think he's got a thing for
Yeah,
bald guys. Okay.
yeah. It's yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Johnny. Not gonna drop anything.
Don't Johnny likes it when you got soap in your hand. You got that soap? Here. Try holding the soap and a piece of chicken at the same time. It's just not going to work.
It's a visual. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tim Sales is kind of upset at you now. He's asking if you're talking about him.
Tim, it's always a pleasure to see you, in men's clothing. I think that's great. Uh, yeah, I love what you've done with the beard. It looks good on you, and it certainly breaks up the monotony of your face. Stevie was talking about interviewing you, and I told him that at one point in time, although you don't look it now, you were once a big time wrestler. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be cool.
And he went by the name of Yuri Petrov.
Yuri Petrov. This is Russian. Do you have Russian accent, Mr. Sales? He
Can
can't talk to
we?
me.
Why can't he talk to us?
Well, he can, but I'm talking to him like he's actually going to answer me right away. I got to wait for him to text.
Oh, he's texting.
Yeah.
Well, that'll take a while because, geez, he's a hunt and pecker.
Jamie Paget says, Churchill definitely. Bald is beautiful.
Thank you, Jamie.
And Tim says, "Niet." He does not speak Russian. This is okay.
Yeah.
He just looks that way.
He just looks that way. And looks have nothing to do with it. He's a dear friend. Tim is a dear friend and a wonderful talent. And I hope you get a chance to interview him. You better have a lot of questions prepared for him because he's not real quick on his feet.
Then I'll just read slowly.
Yeah, that's it. You just let me read the
question. Tim, how did you start?
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: your face is all blue.
Me?
Yeah. It looks blue. It looks like you're looks like you're Aladdin.
I'm freaking frozen in a giant big boy for over 30 freaking years. Now you'd be blue too, wouldn't you? Okay.
Sorry.
I'm working with what I got. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. Now I'm just like going to sit here and not enjoy the interview. I'm just like, thank you. I'm going to hide my face. Jerk.
That's a great hat to hide your face with.
It covers it, right?
Yeah, complete. It was complete coverage. Tim's got a lot more way to go. He's got to brush up and over to and that way it just covers up the face and we can't see.
Wow, dear friend, huh? Okay.
He is a dear friend. I've talked to Tim and his wife, and she considers him a three-bagger. Do you know what a three-bagger is? You do? It's one for him, so. One for her, and one for by the door in case somebody walks in on you.
Oh, I didn't know about the third one. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said, a three-bagger. I'll tell you this, Steve. This is a serious story. You don't want to walk in on people, when they're in that position or doing that. As a youngster, I walked in on my mom and dad. Oh, it's been horrifying. To this day, I cannot eat pigs in a blanket. And it's just terrified me through my childhood.
Fair enough. You just gave me the visual that I didn't know that I just didn't want. Thank you.
I hope you never forget those.
I won't.
That's what I said. I still have the visuals. Hell, I'm almost 70.
Mike says he misses you every chance he gets.
Mike who?
Oh, sorry, Tim Sales. I don't know
Oh,
why I said
Tim.
Mike. He
Yeah.
says miss you, Mike. So he's talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, we got Bonnie Kilrow. Hey guys, popping in to say hi. I'm on the set with no Wi-Fi. I'll watch the full later. Ew, mom and dad sex. Oh, you just ruined her too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Bonnie. I love her. She is such a phenomenal talent. Yeah, it's probably Canada's second greatest export.
The first being
SCTV.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bonnie. SCTV beat you.
SCTV beat you, but Bonnie, you're still a treasure. You're a gem, and I'm just every time I see this young lady, I'm absolutely amazed by her.
And she responded with, "Aww."
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
And then
I,
weed.
and then what?
Weed.
Oh, you're not matching up at all. You're looking like a really bad Chinese movie.
Am I? Okay, the internet's probably bad.
I don't know. It's just that there it is. It's women. Oh God, look, Godzilla. I can't believe.
Thanks,
That's
Mike. Love
that's
to you
horrible.
all. It was. Yeah, if I didn't advertise you, I'd probably be canceling this and blocking you right now. But thank you.
Really? Oh, okay. Is that it? I'm done or no?
Oh no, no, no! I'm gonna make you suffer for that pigs in the blanket visual you gave me.
Okay. Well, no, that's a great visual.
Uh, Bonnie says weed is the number one export. So SC,
Weed is from you.
yeah, it's from us.
Oh yeah.
Cannabis
Okay.
capital of the world.
Weed is from you, and then Bonnie Kilrow. So there's your two great. Or it'd be Weed, Bonnie Kilrow, SCTV.
Right, exactly. She's still
Yeah.
second place.
Yeah, she's still second. I just can't say enough nice things about her. She's very, very funny, and I look for her videos, and even though I don't comment on them, I watch them. Every time she sticks one on, it's like, look what Bonnie's doing now.
Okay, Karen says you both are loud and clear in the picture and sound quality here. I think he was messing with you.
I wouldn't do that. No, I don't. I don't mess with it. Anybody. Oh, it's a mime with Tourette's.
Wow. Just wow. You know what? I'm just gonna like leave you to the rest of the show yourself. I mean, you started off well. You almost put a lot of people to sleep because it is not, but I'll leave
What?
you alone. Now,
No. I was trying. I'm in this with you.
yeah, you're right. We're stuck together. Now,
Yes.
so how did you get started in comedy? Like, how did you decide that comedy is what I want to do?
Um, I was working in a corrugated box factory. I'd worked there for a total of 14 years. I worked there, and I would probably say my 12th year there, uh, my son was born, and I went downtown and got drunk after my son was born,
As you do.
and yeah, you celebrate. And I signed up for this contest. It was this piece of paper sign up sheet at the bar that said, "So you think you're funny?" And we're having a contest. So I wrote my name down. And then about 3 days later, the owner of the bar called me up and he goes, "Hey, Mike, you were down here the other night. You were pretty drunk. You signed up for this contest. Do you still want to be in it? I know you were hammered." And I go, "Well, what's the deal?" And he said, "Well, it's a comedy contest. And what you do is you write down, come up with 15 minutes of material. And then you perform it on stage. And we'll have judges and they'll judge you. And the winner will win, X amount of dollars and blah, blah, blah." So I said, "Yeah, I want to do it." So I sat down and wrote out a routine about my wife having a baby. Well, I entered the contest, and I'd never been on stage before, uh, but I could always tell a joke pretty good. And I was vice president of my local union, so I knew how to talk to people. So I got up and I did my routine, and I ended up coming in second place. And the guy that won was a comedian. He'd already been practicing doing comedy and been in plays and all that stuff, so he was a pro on stage. But I didn't feel bad. And the MC of the show was a guy out of Venice, California, encouraged me to go up to Seattle and start hitting the open mic. So I started driving up there, and eventually I get hired to MC a show. If you did good on Wednesday and Thursday, which they're open mic nights, they'd hire you for Friday, Saturday, and pay you. And on Friday and Saturday, you could pick up $35, a sandwich, and all the beer you could drink for
Ooh.
the night. Yeah. Well, back in those days, I could pack a beer. So I get those, I'd make $70 and for the weekend, and two sandwiches and a lot of beer. And eventually worked my way up to a feature act, which was $75 to $100 a night, or a headliner, which was $150 to $200 a night. And that's pretty much where comedy clubs are still at this point. They're paying a headliner $150 or $200 a night.
Wow.
Pitiful.
Oh no.
Pitiful. Yeah. Real low. Some agents have and bookers have picked up the pace and picked up some money, now. And then when I do the Rickles show, I charge an exorbitant amount of money, and people pay it to get a taste of Rickles, because I do a lot of Don, and it's very reminiscent of what he used to do on stage.
Now that you're doing Don Rickles, Don Rickles' gig is to insult a lot of people, right? So
Yep.
how is it for you to just go up to someone and just like call them ugly, or it's like, oh, you throw a bone, like, doesn't that make you feel bad, or you feel sorry, or like you might hurt their feelings or anything?
There's a story in Hollywood about Don Rickles that people were not truly happy unless they'd been insulted by Don Rickles. They would literally go to the clubs in hopes that Don Rickles would see them and insult them, and just relish in the fact that, Don thought enough of them to give him a hard time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And he never did it really mean spirited. It was never really mean spirited about it. It was just one of those deals. He'd talk to the audience. He'd see a fat guy in the audience and look at him. It's just, what do you weigh there, Tiny? Oh, jeez. How about this? Is this your wife? She's kind of a tiny gal. How about this? Every time you get ready to mount her at night, you're walking towards her, she's going, no, no, please, God, no. Wakes up the next morning. Why do I look like a pancake? He'll do that to people, and they relish it. One my favorite lines is see a woman in the audience, and she's laughing and she's rocking back and forth. I look at him and I go, I love your wife, sir. Her whole body shakes when she laughs. You must just put her on top and read her jokes out of a damn joke book. Hey, honey, what's the difference between boogers and broccoli? Hey, kids won't eat broccoli. I'm telling you this. Anyway. So you do it, and they accept it because it's Rickles. That's what he was known for. Now, if I'd just gone up and done it as me, yeah, somebody probably get pissed. And I've had people get pissed at me in the audience. I worked in Alaska. I was up in Alaska, and I was working this club, and the bouncer came up to me before the show. And he had on a tack belt and a 45. He had a sidearm. It's Alaska. It's tough. Polar bear could walk into the club while you were there. And he came to me. He says, "Okay, here's the deal. You sense any trouble coming, you ask for a glass of water." He says, "I'll be there. Like, stink on shit. I'll be right there to protect you and make sure, I'll diffuse the situation. Glass of water. That's the code. Glass of water." Okay. So I'm on stage and I'm doing my act. My opening act has already gone on. He's a good friend of mine, does a wonderful job. Very, very happy with him. They introduce me. I get on stage. I'm starting to do my show. Uh, this gentleman in the audience gives me some shit, so I rip him. I rip him a new asshole, you know. And it's like, hey, millions of sperm cells, and you were the fastest. Come on. Anyway, I'll tell you this: we kill whales and let shit like this live, ladies and gentlemen. Doing this, and you can see he's getting pissed, and the vein in his forehead is starting to throb. And I'm thinking, oh God, and he rattles off something else, and I rip him up again. Hey, if your dick was as big as your mouth, you'd have a woman sitting with you instead of that guy. Anyway, just going on like that. And I finally look and I go, boy, I sure, that's the cue. Guys are going to be there like stink on shit. No fucking bouncer. Pardon my French, but there's no bouncer. The bouncer's nowhere to be seen. And this guy's getting more and more pissed, and the vein is throbbing in his forehead. And I'm thinking, I'm going to die in Alaska, and that won't even make the national news up here. Comedian dies in Alaska. Whoop-de-doo. Bear spotted on freeway. Oh, there you go, national head. So I start to panic, and I'm looking. No, seriously, could I get a glass of water? And a minute later, my opening act walks up and hands me a glass of freaking water. I look at him and I go, where the hell's the bouncer? And he goes, he's outside hitting on some chick. So much for that's the code right there. All you need to do is ask for a glass of water. We'll be right there. Nope.
Well, we got a couple people that just joined us. A Dennis Pupovitz. Or Popovitz. Pupovitz. We have a gentleman by the name of, or a guy by the name of Greg Thompson, who says, hello, gentlemen. I mean, guys.
Oh, hello, Greg. How are you?
I expect a showdown now.
Is it between me and Greg? No, not a showdown between me and Greg.
Because it was the way you said they go, hello, Greg, and there's silence, almost like, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Greg, he's prepping up for wanting to interview you.
Yeah, I got to find out about the Sweeney bands and the hypnotist stuff. And I heard something about clogging as well, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that Wally does when he goes to the bathroom. But
see, now you messed it with it. Yeah, there. That's a finger pointing at me. This is my finger pointing at you.
All right, things just got weird.
Yes, they did.
So when did you realize you wanted to do Don Rickles? Like, just when?
I did the show in Laughlin, Nevada in 2005. I was there for a year. And then 2006, I went overseas. I came back 2007, got married to my fifth wife at the time. And that's when...
Clogging.
It's Greg clogging.
Yeah, he says he's your man for clogging.
Yeah. I need an opener. I'm looking for a clogger. Somebody that clogs and travels with a plumber's helper. So 2007, I watched the video Don Rickles, Mr. Warmth, the Don Rickles Project, which John Landis did. And there was this point in there that I said, oh my God, that looks like me. And at that point, I had some friends come to my house and I put the video and the DVD and they watched it. And they said, oh my God, that's you. What club are you at? And why are you in a tuxedo? And I said, well, obviously you don't know me that well. I get up and put a tuxedo on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. on a Thursday for no damn reason whatsoever because, well, my friend Steve puts on a tuxedo too. At the same time, we're not doing anything. We're just waiting for a restaurant to open so we can get work putting people in their seats.
That's right.
Yeah. So, and then in 2009, I got to meet Don. I went to his show and met Don. And I'd already done a couple of shows as Don, doing the tribute show. And I talked to him about it and said, I do the tribute show, blah, blah, blah. And he said, good, keep my name alive. And we had our pictures taken with Don. That was the first time I met him. It was 2009. And then I got to meet him 4 more times. Yep, that was it. That's my lovely Gwen in the middle. And that's me dressed up. We're dressed up. And we were sitting in the restaurant eating. And people would see us dressed like that. And they'd walk in and go, can we get our picture taken with you? I go, sure, but I'm not him. And so they, yeah, right. And they come up and they get their picture taken with me. I had one guy that wanted me to autograph his Mr. Potato Head doll. And
Oh,
I said, no, you don't want me to autograph this. You want the real Don Rickles to autograph it. And he said, no, I want you. And I said, well, I'm not Don. He goes, yes, you are. You're an asshole. That may be so, sir, but I'm not Don Rickles. Don Rickles is a very nice man, and I'm sure he would autograph it for you if he was standing here. But this is me, and nope, I'm not going to ruin it for you. And I was trying to protect him. So I have a Don Rickles. I have a Mr. Potato Head doll that I wanted Don to sign, and I couldn't get him to sign it because he wasn't feeling well that night that I had it with me. But I'll tell you this, Steve, I get up in the morning, I put my hearing aids in, I put my eyeglasses in so I could see. It's basically my eyes. I put my false teeth in. I put my leg on. I really am Mr. Potato Head.
Greg Thompson asked, did anyone ever not believe you? Except for this guy that you're talking about.
Oh, no, no. It was that same night that Gwen and I bought our first tickets to go see Don, and I paid $75 a piece for the tickets, but they weren't great seats, and we were kind of in the back, and but we're dressed. I'm in my tuxedo, and Gwen's in that lovely black dress, and we're sitting there, and this guy from the other end of the auditorium comes all the way over to me in a walker. I mean, he's struggling to get to me, and I don't know what the hell is this guy doing. He finally comes up to me, and I think I'm on the end of the aisle, and he looks at me, and he goes, "I just want to tell you, I saw you in 1977 in Las Vegas. I'm really looking forward to the show tonight." And I looked at him, I said, "You think I'm Rickles?" And he goes, "You're not?" And I said, "Do you think if I was Rickles, I'd have these shitty seats? What the hell's the matter with you? Get out of here." And he walked away going, "That is Rickles. I don't care what you say."
That's too funny.
Yeah, but and it's a true story. And Don was just such a nice, wonderful man. And it's too bad his attorneys are such jerks. But he was a nice guy.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's the only reason. That's the only way to explain why he's still alive, unless he's really connected with the mafia and he can say anything he wants. Don Rickles.
He's not alive.
No, I mean that's why he was until just recently. That's why he lasted as long as he did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
A mistake.
Yes. Well, yeah, you should research. He passed away 3 years ago.
I did, but I kind of meant,
Uh-huh. He's a mensch. He was a mensch. He was great. He was funny. He was a serious actor. He could do comedic stunts. His first movie was. Do you know what his first movie was?
Was it Kelly's Heroes?
No, it wasn't. It was a Navy movie called Run Silent, Run Deep with Burt Lancaster and Clark Gable. And Don Rickles had a serious role in it as a submarine man on their sub.
Did not know that.
Yeah, and then Kelly's Heroes. He did a bunch. The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, a bunch of Beach Party movies, where he's Big Al, Big Mel, Big Big Dick, Big Ed, and all those different movies of the Beach Party franchise. Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello.
Ah, remember watching those things.
Do you remember watching him? Don Rickles was in him. He was always the guy in the orange jumpsuit that had his name written on it.
In case he forgot, what?
Well, it was Big Daddy, Big Ed, all those. It was
Gotcha.
something big and then whatever his name was.
No, right on. Now, you recently, you are quite an inspiration to a lot of people. You've recently had a couple unfortunate events happen to you. One of them being your leg.
Yeah.
Would you want to tell us about that?
Oh, okay. Well, you want to take it chronologically? What happened to me in the whole run?
Sure.
2017, I got booked into a wonderful event. I got booked into 17 days at the Big E, which is the fifth largest state fair in the country, in Springfield, Massachusetts. All I had to do was walk around and insult people all day. So I did that along with the Danny DeVito impersonator, who I met at Sunburst, who recommended me for this gig. So basically, Sunburst got me the gig. I did that for 17 days. And then after that, I was having problems. I would get really tired when I was walking around the fairgrounds. And I ended up hurting my foot. And so they gave me a scooter to ride around in, which was pretty much apropos for Rickles, But so I did that. And then I played in a celebrity golf tournament, and I could only play for one day, did a show that night. And I'd flown down to Florida, and I was working down there, and I was with my buddy, and we were playing golf in the Villages. And I collapsed, and they took me to the hospital. I had aortic stenosis, which meant my aortic valve wasn't working. So they were going to do surgery on me, and they were going to put a pig valve in me. And I said, you can't. I play a Jew on stage. It's not kosher. So they put a cow valve in me. I had a bovine valve inserted in me. So that's really nice for me, Steve, because now I can take a shit standing up.
Thanks for the other visual.
You're welcome. Well, at least I'm not talking about my prostate. Anyway, so I did a so I had the open heart surgery, had the valve replacement, was doing pretty good after that. I went to Florida again, and I did shows at the Orange Blossom Opry, and I was getting ready to go back to Sunburst, and then I did. I'm diabetic, and I was barbecuing on my back deck, barefooted, and the deck got hot, and I ended up burning my feet. And one of the foot, where both the feet got third-degree burns on. Well, one foot got healed up. The other one, they started whittling away. Hey, we got to take this toe. We got to take that toe. Well, we got to take this toe. We got to take the third and fourth metatarsal. Now we're just going to cut all your toes off. And then they ended up getting infected. And so that I was doing infusions with antibiotics, super duper antibiotics, infusions at home twice a day. And I never could get the bacteria or the infection out. So we talked to the doctor, and the alternative was to have a below knee amputation. So we said, let's do it. So they lopped off my leg on the 29th of January when I was booked to do my show at the Orange Blossom Opry in Weirsdale. And the people of the Orange Blossom Opry and my entertainer friends went in and did a show and donated the money to my emergency medical fund, which helped me out. So support the Orange Blossom Opry and anybody that was involved in that. George Trulinger was involved, and Tim Sells, major involvement in there. Greg Thompson, and the Sweeney Brother Band. They performed there and helped run the show. So yeah, I owe a lot of people a lot of respect and gratitude.
It's touching.
Well, I didn't mean to make you go to a standstill, Steve. It was. Is he still talking? I don't know if he is or not.
Stop messing with me.
Okay. So so what
Hold
else?
on. My relative Henry Pageant got his leg shot off with a cannonball in 1815 Battle of Waterloo.
Yeah.
Was the first in the world to have a jointed prosthetic leg.
Really? I don't have a jointed one, but I hide joints in mine, and I mine's below knee, so it's not jointed. My kids, it's carbon fiber and titanium, and my grandkids call me RoboPop with it.
Robopop.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get used to?
No, no. You put on a sleeve that's got a little sticker on the end of it that's ratchets in, and that's what holds. It adheres to your leg with suction and gel, uh, and and then that thing goes into a little pointer thingy on that. Besides stabbing midgets, you can stab midgets with it too. It's like, get out of my way. Uh, it goes into the socket that goes on your leg, and it ratchets in there, and then it just hangs in there. So when you go to take your leg off, you got to hit a little button on the side of your leg, and the ratchet thing will come out. So it's
Okay.
quite interesting. Uh,
Apparently, you start screwing around with the nurses that were taking care of you about your leg in the hospital.
Oh, they amputated my leg, and so I'm recovering in the hospital, and I got a pretty good attitude about it. But the nurse comes in one day, and she's looking around the room, and she's checking things. I said, What are you doing?" She says, "Oh, I'm checking to make sure everything's in here. Make sure nothing's missing." I said, "Oh, I got something missing." And she goes, "Really? What? Did somebody steal something out of your room?" I said, "I don't know. I came in here yesterday with the left leg. Today I don't have it. I have no idea where the hell it is. It's lower left leg. It's got a foot." And, and she said, "Oh, hon, that's in the incinerator." And I said, "What?" She said, "Well, we sent it down to the morgue and then we sent it to the incinerator." I said, "I didn't order barbecue. What the hell is that?" Soup's on, kids. Let's go.
uh, Angela DeBono, she says hello, everyone.
Hello, Angela.
Greg Thompson, he says we are thrilled to do it, thrilled to do the show for you.
I owe so many people from that. It was just, I'm glad they had a good time. I hope they got some work out of it. It was just one of the coolest things for me to see, and we did the same thing for George Trulinger when he was battling his little deal with throat cancer.
And Tim Sell says you've given us much more.
I give Tim a lot of grief.
I guess he likes that.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg's got something related to your other story here. He says
What's that?
our Sweeney cousin Eunice dated a man with a wooden leg, but later she broke it off.
But bang. She couldn't handle the splinters. Was that you I was talking to earlier? I told you about my great uncle. My great uncle had a wooden leg. And we could never figure out how come Uncle Roy got drunk all the time. And, he was a boat builder by profession. And we live on the Puget Sound. Olympia, where I live, is the southernmost tip of the Puget Sound, which is an inlet that connects to the Pacific Ocean. And so Uncle Roy would take us out on his boat all the time. He had a nice little cabin cruiser. And we would go out on the boat, and Uncle Roy would end up getting drunk. And we could never figure out how the hell is Uncle Roy getting drunk? Well, it turns out he had hollowed out part of his wooden leg and had a bottle in there. And he had plastic tubing running up his leg, up his shirt, up to his collar. And the thing would stick out, and he'd just kind of tuck it back down in there. But every once in a while, he'd pull it out and just take a couple of hits off the plastic tubing. He was drinking the entire time he was on the boat. He'd get drunk, take his leg up, and just leave it on the deck. People get up to go to the bathroom, tripping over his leg. Damn it, Roy, put your leg away. Yeah, I have a good attitude about mine. We called it Bob for a while. Well, when they amputate your leg, you have a uh, residual limb, and they affectionately call a stump. And I don't like the word stump, so we called it Bob. And I'm not bragging here, Stevie, but they left me with 10 inches hanging below my knee, and I'm very proud of that. But we called the residual there. We call him Bob, and the socket that Bob goes into is the Bob holder, and yeah, and that's made out of carbon fiber, and then you got your titanium, and then it goes into a deal, and they put a rubber foot on on the metal part, so that you can. I got to put a sock on it, and then I put it in my shoe. I thought, well, I'd get away with just buying one shoe now, but I can't because you got to have one that matches on the prosthetic. So there's certain shoes I can't wear anymore. I can't wear my boots because I can't get the prosthetic won't bend enough to get in there. So
so no more cowboy boots for you?
no more cowboy boots unless they got zippers up the side.
See what we can do for you.
Yeah,
those long leather boots you used to parade around when you were Catwoman the other time.
That was it. I can't do those anymore because those are just no.
That's a shame, man. I mean, everyone at Sunburst told me you did that, and I'm gonna miss that.
Yeah, well, Greg's probably got some old videos.
Camille Terry, good evening, Michael and Steve. You both look ever so dashing in your tuxes. Class.
Thank you very much. Hi, Camille.
You're funny. You're just like my mom. My mom doesn't know technology that much, so I would she's 82. I go visit her sometimes, and I call my sister and have her send like a little video. Now, hello, mom, how are you doing? Right, and it's just a recorded. So I start playing it for mom, and she goes, "Hi, mom, how are you doing?" And mom's like, "Hi, how are you, Diane? Is that good? You good? How are you?" Mom, she's not going to answer. It's just a video, but
yeah,
it's still.
Picking on your 82-year-old mom. Shame on you.
Well, no, I'm kind of picking on you because you kind of every time I read something, you're like sitting there expecting them to answer. It's kind of funny.
Sorry. I can't read them. I don't have my glasses on.
Well, Tim Sales says you owe him money. Greg is yeah, you owe him money too. Okay. I don't know. I got nothing.
Nothing.
Now, you worked overseas as well, right, for the troops?
I did. I did 3 different tours over there. The first time I went over, I went to Bahrain. I told you the story pre-show, didn't I?
Yeah, Bahrain, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Bahrain, because they had the shoelace bomber or whatever, and so the other comic that was supposed to go with me didn't go with me, and I ended up having to go by myself, which really sucked because in order to go into town, you have to travel in pairs, and you couldn't because the snipers would nail you single. So I didn't get to go into town, but I sure spent a lot of time on that base there in Bahrain. And then I went to Kuwait and Iraq. I did 20 days. I did 5 days in Kuwait, and then I did 15 days in Iraq. And when I flew into Kuwait on our way in, we flew for a commercial airline from Seattle to where the hell was it? Must have been the Netherlands somewhere or whatever, over that way. And then we flew from there, commercial flight to
Dubai.
And then Dubai, we caught a C-130 military plane and flew that from Dubai to Kuwait. and then from Kuwait to Iraq, they just flew us in choppers. But we had to land in Kirkuk because of a sandstorm, and we got shelled in Kirkuk. I mean, they said, "Well, you guys come in here, lay down on the cots here, and all that stuff." So we went in, lay down on the cots, resting up, and all of a sudden there's explosions going off, and I'm running around going, "Jesus, what do we do?" And they go, it's about dinner time. Let's go get something to eat." And we went in and had the best steak and lobster I've ever had. And thanks, Halliburton. But best steak and lobster I've had for a long time. And I'm going, seriously, what do they do? Oh, we send a gunship up, we shoot the Iraqis up, and then we go back. So then we went on a Black Hawk helicopter to Iraq, and we stayed at Saddam Hussein's daughter's palace.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was, I got to sit in those chairs that when Dan Rather did the interview with Saddam Hussein, I got to sit in those exact same chairs. I had a picture taken of me with, I'm sitting in the chair that Saddam, I got to sit in both of Saddam Hussein's thrones. The one that Yasser Arafat gave him with the crossed elephant tusk, and then his golden toilet.
Golden toilet?
Yeah, he had a golden toilet, and fortunately, I got to take a dump in both of them, and I was really. I love it. Anyway, yeah. So we stayed in the daughter's palace, and I would have breakfast with generals and colonels and majors and all that stuff, and then we'd walk out, and they'd pick us up, and they'd take us down to the heli base or whatever, and we'd jump on a Black Hawk, and we'd fly out to a forward operating base, and we'd do a show and meet the guys and shake hands and yada yada yada. And then we'd go be back on the helicopters, and we'd fly out to another base. And we did 3 shows a day.
Wow.
And then, yeah, so they're 15 days. So that's how many shows we did. But I met an amazing amount of people, and it was a life-changing experience. And I know when I got back, I was doing a show in a town close to a naval base here in Washington State. And gentleman came up to me in the show and wanted to thank me. And I said, "For what?" And he said, "For your show." And I said, "Oh, wow, I'm glad you had a good time. Thanks so much." And he goes, "Not the show here, the show you did in Iraq." I said, I was at one of your shows, and I wanted to tell you how much it lifted my spirit. And it just brought tears to my eyes. But it was a very moving experience. So
that is true. I worked for the Canadian Forces in Bosnia for a bit, and I also worked in Afghanistan for NATO. But I was lucky enough to go to a couple of American shows. We had performers like yourself, comedian, and a few dancers, and they came over and entertained us. And that did mean a lot, because there's not much we can really do stuck on our bases, just like getting ourselves drunk and whatnot. After our 2 beers, right? But having people like you, like comedians and entertainers, come over, it's just like it is super fantastic. You don't know how much we appreciate that.
Well,
and everyone else there does as well. Thank you for that.
Well, it was my pleasure. I mean, it's the least I could do. Too old to fight. Oh, give me a gun. I'll go after little bastards.
You've been married, hell. You already know about suffering. Right?
I have 5 ex-wives. I know what hell is.
5, really?
Yes. Yeah. Got married the first time. I was married for 8.5 years. 8.5 years. And then I got married the second time. I was married for 4 years. I married the third time. I was married for a year and a half. Got married the fourth time. It was 6 months. Got married the fifth time. Well, that was just a couple of weekends. No, that lasted almost a year. And then I found the secret is don't ask him to marry you. Because the gal I'm with now, I've been with next month will be 13 years.
13 years.
Yep. She's a wonderful woman. She's Polish. We discussed this before.
Polska.
Yeah. Polska. She's Polish, and her mom went to school with my dad. I had a crush on her in junior high and high school. Never asked her out. Took her 43 years, and we've been together now next month, 13 years. Just a sweetheart of a lady, and that's the lovely woman in the picture with me and Don Rickles.
Okay, well, that be like, how did you guys get back together? That's the fun thing.
You know, we've always run into each other around town. And I ran into her at the post office one day, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to talk to me or not because she was going through a divorce. She'd been married for 30 years. Things didn't work out. So that she was separated and getting ready to get a divorce. And I said, oh, and I gave her one of my CDs. And then her sister saw me perform at an event center in the town where they live, up in Edmonds, Washington, which is closer to Seattle. And so Gwen got a hold of me via email and said, "Heard you did good in the competition. Love to see your show sometime. Let's go out for a drink and maybe see your show." And I sat on that email for 3 months, and then I had a show coming up, and I finally said, "How about dinner and show?" So we went out. Very nervous, spent all night talking till like 3 o'clock in the morning. And then she invited me in. I said, "Oh, no, I can't do that." And so I left and asked for a second date. Went out on that, had a great time, asked me in again. "Oh, no, not going to do that." Third date, I took her out. We introduced her to all my friends who scrutinized the hell out of her. "Do I need to get a tuxedo for a wedding again? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that?" And put her through hell. And then, yeah. So I remember that we left and we were going to go listen to some really bad karaoke because where can you not hear bad karaoke? Nowhere. It's all bad. So we went to this restaurant to listen to bad karaoke, and I'll be damned if they weren't all good. And then I told her the story of basically how it is when I meet with my guys that I went to school with. "Hey, I'm going out with Gwen now." They look at me and they go, "What the hell's she doing with a toad like you?" You know? Yeah. And she leaned over and kissed me, and it was that was it. We've been together ever since.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yep.
I have a question from Greg Thompson. Well, actually, not a question, but he says, tell them about signing her yearbook.
Her brother, God rest his soul, was a wonderful. I loved her brother like he was my own brother. Was 2 years ahead of us in school, and he was a Yell King. Anyway, he would come down and visit us all the time. Her sister comes down and visits us, and he came down and visited us. Loved it. He'd come down and spend the night. We'd have dinner, go play golf, whatever. But he was looking through the yearbook of our graduating year, and Gwen's maiden name was Waddle, W-A, yeah, Waddle, like a duck, and mine was Walter. So we were on the same page, alphabetically listed. Her picture was down here, and her picture was up here. My picture was down here. And I'm looking up like this, and she's looking down. So it looks like we're looking at each other in our high school yearbook. And so I wrote on it, and on her yearbook, "Someday we'll be together." And I signed my name. And her brother Greg is looking at this and goes, "Oh my God. You wrote that in there in 1969? I said, "No, I wrote it in there about a week ago. I knew you were coming and I wanted you to look through the video." "You asshole." Yeah. He passed away. It'll be 2.5 years now. And it's not a day goes by we don't miss him.
No. Yeah. You also told me another story about you the day you gave up driving because you almost hit a lady.
Well, when I had my open heart surgery in 2018, I had a minor stroke on the table, and I lost peripheral vision on my left side, and the doctor felt very horrible about it. Well, I had a part-time job when I wasn't doing comedy, doing Don Rickles. I had a part-time job doing airport runs to the airport from Olympia in a limousine. I worked for a limo company, so I was a limo driver for them. So I would do airport runs. They'd hire me. You know, I drove anywhere from a town car to take them to the airport to a 72-inch stretch limousine to a 102-inch stretch limousine. Uh, Big cars. And I loved the fact that I drove the Cadillac was the town car that I was driving. That I bought a Cadillac and I loved driving it. But once my peripheral vision got lost, I drove the car to the store and I was driving out of the parking lot and this fat lady popped out in between two cars. I don't know how she could get between the two cars, but she did. And she must have just her fat must have just shoved her out like opening up a can of Pillsbury donut. You bang it and it's just kind of pops out like that. Anyway, so she burst out there and I didn't see her and I almost hit her and I threw my brake on. Well, then she started yelling at me, what are you on your phone and all that. And God, lady, I left my phone at home. Uh, I didn't see you pop out like that quick. And my final thing was, while she was yelling at me and just berating me, I looked at her and I said, look, lady, I just wasn't sure if I had enough gas to go all the way around you. That she shut off, flashed me apparently a one-fingered gang sign, and then chubled into the store. And I came home and I looked at my significant other. I call her my wife, but we're not married. She's my significant other and my life partner and just a wonderful woman. I told her, I said, I'm not driving anymore. And I threw the keys on the table and that was it. I don't drive. I had to give up the Cadillac. I quit the job because I wasn't going to put anybody's life in danger, driving the limo. As much as I love doing it, just didn't happen anymore.
And so you told me this last week. Tell me about your worst gig as Don Rickles.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I get a call. I get a call from this guy. He's an agent. He's a wonderful guy, and treats his comics great. And he says, "Mike, I have a gig for you. It's in Southern Florida, and it's during the Jewish high holidays, and it's the end of the Jewish high holidays or whatever. I'm not sure what it is, but they're having an event, and they're holding it at Trump's Doral Resort. And so I fly down there. Now, the agent has been told that the amount of people that are going to be there are between 50 and 60. And he says, okay, so we set a price to accommodate that number. And he said, learn a couple of Jewish jokes because they're all Jews in there and they want to hear it. It's a comedy show, and apparently they have an opening act. They've hired a female opening Jewish comedian that performs at synagogues. And I'm going, oh, okay, well, and they hire me because they want me to do Don Rickles. Now they specifically tell the agent, we're picking this guy because we have watched his Don Rickles videos. We think he's hilarious. Okay, so the agent gets a hold of me. So the female Jewish comic goes on and does her bit. Now she's funny, but she doesn't get a lot of laughs. It's a pretty tight audience. And when the audience all the way shows up, there's over 500 people there. This is 40 to 50. It's now 500, and probably 60 of the 500 are all kids, ages 3 to 6, to 9, whatever. And they're all sitting on the floor in front of the stage. And the gal gets done doing her stuff, and the lights dim. And then the music for Don Rickles comes, dun, 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 dun. And I walk out and I do this, and I do that. And I'm looking and I walk out, and then it goes into this Mexican music and I start singing this ballad. And then I go into the stop the goddamn music. It's the wrong song, blah, blah, blah. Rickles' standard opening, And I look at this audience full of kids and I went, the hell am I working here? A Jewish daycare center? What the hell is this shit? And so I walk down the steps into the front and I'm trying to walk to the audience. And these kids are in my way and I'm going, get out of my way. Get, what am I, parting the Jew Red Sea here? What the hell is this? Get out of my way. And I get out and I get out to the audience, the adults. And I look at this old guy and his woman with him. And I go, is this your wife? And he goes, yes, it is. I look at him and I go, Jesus Christ. I'm not saying she's ugly, sir, but throw a stick and see if she goes for it. And the whole audience goes, ooh. I'm continuing to do Rickles stuff, Nice of you to dress for this show. People are headed out of there in droves. It's like cattle are spreading. And finally a guy comes up to me and he's doing this. And I said, oh, okay, I guess I'm done. Well, then, the agent goes back up on stage to close out the show because he's acted as the MC or whatever the MC is that did that. And we go back to get paid. And the guy says, do you really think it was worth this money for you to do that? And I said, number one, you said you hired me from my Rickles videotape. I said, I did exactly what Rickles did, and I did exactly what I did on that videotape. Number two, you said this was 40 to 50 people. There was over 500 people in that room. Yes, it's worth the money. Yes, you're paying us. I did my time. You cut me short. We're out of here. We loaded up the stuff, got the hell out of there. Yeah. Horrible gig.
Wow.
Yeah. And had they said anything to me beforehand, but what they said beforehand was, we watched your video, we loved your video, and that was the video that they hired me from, and that's exactly what I did. And I get, whoa. Yeah.
So when you got there and saw the kids, were you thinking, all right, that's what I'm getting paid for?
Well, number one, who the hell brings their kids to a damn comedy show, for crying out loud? And number two, it's their fault for not saying, hey, there's kids in the audience. You don't tell them, I hired you from your videotape of Rickles. Well, that's why we want you. And then you go out and you do exactly that. And they're going, oh, the kids are offended. Well, they should have been offended by the videotape. And you should have said, can you do it not this way? Before any of this crap happened, but they didn't say anything.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a horrible gig, and I don't blame. I don't want to blame the agent. It's not his fault because they lied to him. It's 40 to 50 people. Get out of here. 500. Yeah.
How does one avoid something like this? I mean, you guys didn't know, you were just like, surprise.
Yeah, we got sucker punched.
Wow.
It's like, hey, we walked into the venue setting up the deal, and they're going, hey, this is more than 40 to 50 people. And the guy come up and just kick you in the nuts going, hey, how about that? We got 500 to 600 people here. And yeah. Well, and 80 of them were kids. So yeah, just that ain't the way that works.
Yeah, Greg Thompson, I feel your pain.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but Greg, you've got a cutesy show. You know, you're not risque. Rickles is risque, and in the fact that some people might say, "Oh, Rickles is too rough." I can clean up Rickles, and I can do whatever they want. I'm adjustable like that. But you got to tell me, I'm not just going to do it on my own. If they hire me as Rickles, they're going to get Rickles. You know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind if we show like about a minute from Sunburst, your act as Rickles?
Please do.
All right. We'll just I'll just watch you on screen, and if you want tell me when to cut it off, and we'll go. Like I can see you.
Okay. I don't see
Once
you. I see you.
That's the wrong music, but that's okay. No, seriously, you guys screwed it up. I come out, I do the circle, I'm supposed to wave at everybody, I make fun of, I sing a little Mexican ballad. Now everybody, you didn't do it. Now everybody in the kitchen's going to be pissed, nobody will be working for Christ's sake. That's all I want to do. I want to come out, I want to do a good show. And now they got these guys back here that are running the music. What the hell is it? Look at this. These people wanted to be entertained. Look at all these old people out here. For Christ's sakes, I'm working at home. I swear to God, go home and die. Anyway, no, I'll tell you this, they're beautiful people out here. I can't see a damn thing, really. Somebody parked a Buick on the ceiling and turned the high beams on. Anyway, how about a nice round of applause for Joan Rivers? Huh? Give her Joan. Yeah. She looks good for being dead. Anyway, I swear to God, that's it. That's all I want to do. This is a lovely couple here. Are you guys married? Are you? How long you been married? 3 years. The questions are going to get tougher as we go through the night, sir. Thank you. You're just looking at her going, how the hell long have we been married? I have no idea. What are we doing? I don't know. She's a beautiful woman. This guy, not so much. Anyway. No, he's a good-looking guy. Throw a stick and see if he goes for it, will you? Anyway. I'll tell you this. Me, I got a Jewish wife. Been married 49 years. Thank you very much. Yeah, don't clap. You haven't seen her. And we get done, she just looks at me and she goes, is that about it? Anyway, you keep your sex life alive? She said no, he said yes. Are you having sex together or are you going someplace else? That is it. What do you do? What is that? Do it Jewish style. I circle the bed and get an estimate. Sometimes I pretend I'm a barge going up the Mississippi. Barge going up the Mississippi. Barge going up the Mississippi, and she's the dock. Hit the dock, hit the dock. Sometimes I'll get a brother to get on my back and start singing, Old Man River. You gotta do that. You gotta keep life alive, man. That is it. I pick on everybody. Look at this guy right here. Jesus. No, where are you from, sir? Tampa? Please enjoy the indoor lighting. Absolutely wonderful. I love this deal here. I was in the Villages here not too long ago. Anybody from the Villages? Anybody from the Villages? They got 11 women to every guy up there. But have you seen them? 88-year-old woman's hitting on me. She looked at me, she said, I'm a cougar. I said, at 88, you're a saber-tooth lady. I tell you this, you know Rickles did a lot of impressions. I'd like to do a couple impressions for you. Would you like that? Yeah. All right, here's my impression of one of the greatest actors in the world, Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart was friends with Festus from Gunsmoke. You remember Festus from Gunsmoke? This is Jimmy Stewart and Festus going fishing. It goes like this. Well, you say, Festus and I used to like to go fishing all the time. Well, Festus had this unique way of fishing. He liked to fish in the nude. So one day we rode our horses out to the pond, and Festus clawed out under the rocks, took his clothes off, and then he dipped his pole in the water. One with the fishing line on it, lady. He's fishing away there for a while when a big rattlesnake came up and bit him right on the end of the, yeah. He's laying there in pain. He looked at me. He said, Jimmy, I just got bit by a rattlesnake. What do I do? I said, I have no damn idea. He says, well, get on your horse and go into town and find Doc. I got on my horse and I rode into town. I found Doc. He wasn't at his office. He was hanging out at Miss Kitty's place. And I'll tell you, he wasn't much of a doctor, or he would have told her that big mole on the side of her face would kill her one day. I said, Doc, Festus got bit by a rattler. What do I do? He says, well, you got to take a knife and cut him where he got bit. Suck all the poison out or he'll die. Got on my horse and I rode back, and Festus looked at me. He said, what Doc say? I said, you're going to die. Here's my other favorite impression. This is the guy, remember him, the deputy from Mayberry, from the Andy Griffith Show. Ladies and gentlemen, Barney Fife. Here you go. My whole body's a weapon's what it is, Andy. Oh, yeah, there I was the other night. I was out with Thelma. Thelma looked at me. She said, Barn, that's what she calls me. She calls me Barn. She said, Barn, you hung like a bull. I said, thanks, Thelma. What kind of bull? She said, a gerbil. Don't make me take my bullet out, buddy. I'll tell you this. You guys have been a great audience. Thank you very much. Good night.
I keep double tapping, man. It's terrible. It just
Why are
keeps
you
coming
double
back.
tapping? This is not Zombieland double tap.
Something I'm used to. Sorry, my bad. Those were great impressions. That was like, wow.
Oh, well, thank you very much. You know, Barney Fife, I've been doing Barney Fife for many, many years. And the Jimmy Stewart, I worked with a comedian by the name of Denny Johnson, who, if people ask me who my favorite comedians were, you know, nationally known, of course, would be Don Rickles and Buddy Hackett were two of my favorites. Not quite as well known, but still very, very funny and national headliners. Denny Johnson, to me, is by far one of the funniest comedians ever to walk the face of the earth. He's been doing the same act for like 40 some odd years, maybe 45 years. But it's still funny. It does it. You know, you'll talk to him and you go, how you doing, buddy? He goes, hey, I worked on my act the other day. I added a new the. But his act was, you know, his famous bit, and he's the originator of these bits that have been ripped off so many other times. But he does his impression of Jimmy Stewart singing Blackbird, and he'll put on one of those leather aviator hats, you know, with the goggles built into it, and start playing guitar and singing as Jimmy Stewart. Blackbird singing of the dead of night, and it's just hilarious. But yeah, he's one of my idols. When I started doing comedy, I started watching him, and I started watching Rich Scheidner. I don't know if you know him or not, but another one who's extremely funny. I watched his Tonight Show's performances, and just the guy was a monster on stage.
Do you always work alone, or do you sometimes work with other members of the Rat Pack?
I have a DVD, actually on my website. You can click on it. It's the Don and Dean Show. I did a show at the Orange Blossom Opry, one of my favorite places to play, in Weirsdale, Florida. I did a show there. It was my goal show after my heart attack and my heart surgery, was to do a show at the Orange Blossom Opry. And so we booked in the Don and Dean Show. And that is in the video section of my webpage, MikeWallyWalter.com, is under the tag, the Don and Dean Show. And yeah, it's an hour and 40 minutes of, you know, the Dean singing songs. I take on Jerry Lewis as in when he sings That's Amore. I do my best Jerry Lewis impression, and yeah, it's a fun video.
Well, awesome.
Yep.
What would you what kind of advice would you give for people that want to, get into show business, especially comedy?
Don't do it. There's too many damn comedians out there already. We're not getting any work. You know what? It's get on stage as much as you possibly can. There's a comic out there. I worked with him when he started out, and I thought he had just such a great work ethic. And he just kept trying, and he'll go anywhere. His name is Andrew Rivers, and he's a very funny young man. And if you ever get a chance to see him, go see him. There's a lot of comics out there that are great, but Andrew's kind of a unique young comic. He's very funny.
Our friend Jamie from across the pond says he's crying with laughter, and it's 1 a.m. in England. Keep going for another few hours. Brilliant.
Thank you, Jamie. I don't know why people think it's brilliant. It's just me, I love performing. I love going. I had a show and I can't find it. I had a show that I did in Bend, Oregon, and I worked with this gal, and she's just a sweetheart of a gal. Her name is Abby Drake, and she's gay, and I don't give a shit if you're gay or not, but somebody kind of maliciously named it the Mike and Dyke Show, and we thought it was hilarious. And so we billed it as that, the Mike and Dyke Show. And so I did this show in Bend, Oregon, and we had a guest set from another lesbian. So when she got done doing the accent, I went up, well, this has been a great night. Welcome to the Mike and Two Dyke Show. And, it was, I had no idea you were going to be here. You added a certain, macho dykiness to this show that we never expected, and rattled off, and we just had a ball. And I love working with Abby. She was a very, very talented artist and a comedian, but she's living in Joshua Tree, California, like out in the desert. She's become spiritual.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Spiritual. Yay.
Yeah. But a sweetheart and a funny gal, and she should be still doing comedy.
Maybe she is, just not on a large scale.
Yeah, I like working with people. I mean, I did the show with Dean. I did another show with another Dean, Eric Richardson. You probably met Eric.
Eric, yeah.
Yeah, I did a Dean and Don show with him. Tom Weiland. Have you met Tom Weiland?
Not so sure.
Yeah, he does a Dean Martin. I think he only went to Sunburst once. And I'd like to work with him. Tony Sands, who's a phenomenal Frank Sinatra. Frank Frizzalone, another one. Gino Monroe does Sammy Davis Jr. I've worked with a lot of talented people. Yeah. And I love working with the Rat Pack. I mean, Frank was a dear friend of Don Rickles.
Yeah, I could tell, because there's no way, because it's just the way the stuff that Don Rickles got away with talking to Frank.
My favorite story about Rickles and Frank was, before Rickles waited until he was quite old. I think it was 45 or something like that before he finally settled down with Barbara. But he was taking this young, attractive woman out, and they were in a restaurant. Sinatra was in a restaurant. And Don excused himself from the table and got up and kind of walked over to where Frank was. He looked at Frank and he said, "Frank, do me a favor, will you? Will you come over, kind of make a big deal about me? I'm trying to impress this gal that I'm with. It'd mean a lot to me, Frank. Seriously, thank you." Frank said, "Don't worry about it, Don. Let me finish my dinner and I'll come over and say hello." So Don went back to the table and Frank went back, finished eating his meal. Gets done with his meal, gets up, and he walks over to Rickles, pats him on the back, says, "Hey, Don, how you doing?" Don turns around and unleashes onto Sinatra and goes, "Can't you see I'm with a woman here? What the hell's the matter with you? I'm trying to eat a dinner here in peace and quiet with this beautiful woman. You keep bugging me. Why do you always bug me like this, Frank? What the hell is the matter with you?" Frank got pissed and walked away. But he forgave him because Don can do no wrong, you know?
That's cool. And have you ever done roasts?
Yes, I have.
How are those?
I have done roast. I did a roast in Seattle, a roast of one of my very dear friends, Jay Wendell Walker, who's been in the business for, well, let's put it, he was on the Ed Sullivan Show. He's been in the business that long. His mom and dad were vaudevillians, and it was his retirement roast. And I think we did like 6 of them for him, and he's still not retired yet. Like, would you quit the goddamn business? Anyway, so we're doing a roast, and this gal was at this roast, and you know, she used to be one of the top headliners in Seattle, and I don't know what happened to her other than she could lose a room for you. She got a big head and thought she should be able to say whatever she wanted, didn't want to play by the rules, got a lot of shows closed. Anyway, she went on in the roast, and she had asked to go on before me. So she's, you know, gave me a bunch of jabs, and she had a reputation of she would screw anybody to get to the top, whether it was a club owner or whatever. I mean, she actually mailed cocaine to a club owner in Seattle to get a gig. But you know, she was that kind of just odd, and she quit becoming funny, and she went up on stage, and you know, did the roast, and then she started nailing insults at me, and one of the things that one of the comics said about her, and I won't tell his name, but he used to be a famous writer for Saturday Night Live, said, "I only had sex with her in the butt for sanitary reasons." So she tried to allude to that, and so I was next, and I went up and I said, "Well, it's no mystery that this young lady here has had a lot of sex in the Seattle area. In fact, if she had as many penises sticking out of her as she's had in her, she'd look like a porcupine." And you know, it was. She's not the most attractive woman in the world. She's got red dots on her stomach from being touched with that 10-foot pole. You know, and stuff like, and then I made reference to that, and then I said, but it wasn't me, or it wasn't this famous writer for SNL that I, you know, she told the story about. I said it wasn't him. It was Jay Wendell, who was the guy we were roasting. She was livid, just totally blew up, you know. And I mean, and she ripped me apart, and you know, the comic before me and whatnot went up and said, you know, "How did you get an article written about you in the paper? Who did you blow to do that?" And you know, and I'm going, you know, they said much worse things about her than me, and to this day hates my guts. Yeah.
You hit her where it hurts.
Huh?
You hit her where it hurts.
All right. There's a story of her picking up some guy that had no legs. All right. And I can tell this because I'm a one-legged guy, but he had no legs, and was having sex with him up in her hotel room. When the other comic came by her room and yelled, "Your husband's here. He's looking for you." And she literally, and she was a scrawny little thing, runs out of the room with this guy in her arms carrying a no-legged man trying to go, "Where the hell's your room? I got to get you back to your room before my husband comes back."
That's a hell of a visual.
It I always wanted to do that. I'm hoping somebody wants to do that with me. I'm going to Florida. I want to go to the ocean. I want to take my prosthetic leg off, and I want somebody to pick me up in the water and start carrying me out, screaming "shark," and I'll be waving Bob. Just my. It was a clean cut.
Yeah, too funny. So you plan on coming back to Sunburst whenever this whole thing
You know what?
pandemic dies down?
I told Greg if they have one this year, this come September, I'm there.
So
Yep.
you're all ready to go back on stage and entertain us?
I'm all ready to go back on stage and entertain. I had one show. I did one show in August in Anaheim, California. I'd done the show the year before with a Rat Pack group, and I'm the only one they brought back. They decided that they wanted to do comedy, so we did. We had a George Burns open the show, and then we had Rodney Dangerfield, and then we had Joan Rivers, and then I closed the show as Don Rickles. But we had a special guest set. It was Jimmy J.J. Walker, Kid Dynamite, and he actually opened the show. So by the time I got up there, and Jimmy went on and did just a phenomenal show. If you've never seen Jimmy and you have Amazon Prime, you can see Jimmy on a show called We're Still Here with him and Michael Winslow. And Jimmy is just outrageously funny. Anyway, did a great job. The George Burns, it was okay. The Rodney Dangerfield, very funny. The Joan Rivers, phenomenal. I get on stage. I walk out and they go, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Night of the Living Dead. That's right. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hey, look, George Burns is dead. Gracie Allen's dead. Rodney Dangerfield's dead. Joan Rivers is dead. Jimmy J.J. Walker, well, he's alive, folks, but he just looks dead. And of course, I'm dead. And so I went on and did it. And I had a great time. I got a standing ovation, and I was thrilled at that. Jimmy got a standing ovation at the beginning of the show, and then I got a standing ovation at the end of the show. That's what I'm saying. I don't give a shit if it's what just the people were getting up to leave, but I was the last one that got up. I had a standing up, so. But that's the last show I did, and that was in August. And before that, I haven't had any shows since January of the year before.
Wow!
So I'm ready and ready to. I mean, if I have long pants on, you can't tell that I have a prosthetic leg. Unless I'm wearing shorts, and I'm wearing a tuxedo right now, but I got shorts on.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, because who cares,
Right? It's like comfortable. Woo!
Yeah, I look good.
Got the fan on down here. Things are good. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's enough peanut butter. Okay.
Wow.
You're a good puppy, Emily. Anyway.
Wow.
Have I gone over the bounds? Have I?
A long time ago, man, but everyone's just enjoying themselves.
Oh,
we
okay.
Forgot a lot of people. Definitely one thing I want to bring up is you mentioned that you decided to become Don Rickles when you started losing your hair.
Yeah.
So that got me going, what did you look like with hair?
Very funny. Well, yeah, that I don't have any hair there. I have that hat.
Yeah, so that wasn't good enough for me either. So I went further back and found
There you go. That's it. That is the one. I'm going to tell you about that right now, because I still have a shitload of those in a package for promo pictures.
It says historical images on the screen here.
Yeah. I'd bid on that. I'll tell you what happened with this, and you got to look at the picture. If you look at the picture,
Yep.
I'm going to play this club. And I drive to the club and I walk in. And they have, and you probably have no idea what the hell this is. You ever heard of a mimeograph machine?
No.
Okay, well, it was what they use in schools. If they would take like a picture of this, and they'd shoot it, and then they'd put it, and it'd come out on this ink pad type deal. And so they'd run these things through the paper or whatever with the ink pad thingy on it, and they'd run it. It was called a mimeograph, and the images would come out much darker. So I go into the club and there's a mimeograph picture, this picture hanging up of me. And I go, "Hey, how you doing?" They go, "Pretty good. What can we help you with?" And I went, "Well, I'm your comedian tonight." They look at me and they look at the picture and they go, "No, you're not." And I go, "What the hell are you talking about?" "Yeah, I'm your comedian. That's me." And he goes, "Nah, that's a black guy. We got a black guy coming in tonight." I said, "No, that's me." And they go, "Nah, we got a black guy coming in tonight. That Mike Walter guy. He's a black guy. Look at him. He's a black guy." I had to make that goddamn face for them to believe that I was Mike Walter. True story. True story.
Wow. Well, can you make that face for us now? Hold on, let me get... You nailed it.
Yeah.
So you definitely are Mike Wally Walter.
Huh?
So you definitely are Mike Wally Walter.
I definitely am Mike Wally Walter. I'm not a black guy, but I have played
said,
one on TV.
In that picture, she said you look like Billy Crystal, Camille Terry.
Oh, really? I've never been compared to Billy Crystal, but yeah. I don't see it, but thanks, Camille.
Fair enough. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I am planning on going to Sunburst this year. It's just one of those deals. I need to get back out there and let them know that I'm alive. I'm kicking. I've had some minor setbacks, but I'm just as good as I ever was.
Absolutely. And with the stuff that you've told me, the tragedies, you've actually used that on stage, because I was watching one of your sets. You're making fun of some guy that was on your left-hand side or something.
Yeah.
You start saying, "Thank goodness that I can't see you, because you look a lot better."
Yeah. That was that show at the Orange Blossom Opry.
Yeah.
That's one, and a lot of those guys in the band will still be there. The guitar player Bobby with the big ass belt buckle that doubles as satellite dish antenna for his wiener. Well, he's the leader of the band now, so he'll be there. He'll be slinging his guitar, and I'm sure that he's got a belt buckle the size of a Buick that he wants to wear, just in commemoration. I'm wearing I'm gonna glue a pie pan to my belt. That would be a much better satellite dish antenna for my wiener.
That was a funny skit, man. I was like doing my research for you about like 2, 3 in the morning.
You just said a naughty word. We do not call our little comedy routines skits.
Did I say skit?
Yeah. Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and you know what? It flashed back because to me, one of the greatest shows that was ever on TV was Seinfeld. And I could watch Seinfeld over and over and over and over and over again, and I have. But last night, it was the episode where Elaine's boyfriend was telling Jerry about this bit, and he goes, "You could put that in your little skit." And Jerry goes, "We don't do skits. We do bits. We do routines. There's no such thing as a skit unless you're an improv group and you have to rehearse it."
Yeah, about rehearsing improv. You told me a story about you coming
Did
down.
we do that?
Canada.
But was that before show or was
That was
that
before show? Yeah.
Oh, for crying out loud! And see, there I go. Now I got to explain that whole thing because nobody's going, "What the hell is he talking about? Rehearsing improv?" I was nowhere ready to headline at this point in time. And a lot of my friends from the Seattle comedy scene were going up to Calgary, Alberta, to headline this club called the Brass Rail. And the gentleman that booked it was a very nice gentleman, and his name was Bill Robinson. And so I was living in Spokane and booking shows in Spokane, but I called Bill and I said, I would love to come up to Calgary and work your Brass Whale Club. And he said, "Are you a headliner?" And I went, "Well, yes, I am." And so he booked me in to headline his club. And I wanted to go in early and get set up because I use props, and props are, little toys or whatever that you can use. Like I had a masturbating Conan the Barbarian doll that, had a sword. And if you pulled the string behind it, his hand would go like this with the sword chopping at you. But if you took the sword out, it just looked like he was jerking off. Anyway, so I would, hey, Conan's jerking off. That was the whole joke, but it was a visual prop joke. So I was a prop comic. So I wanted to go in early and get set up with my props. And they said, "Oh, you can't go into the theater yet." They called their room the theater because it was, kind of a theater in the round type deal. Yeah. So they said, "You can't go in there." And I went, "Why not?" And they go, "Well, the improv group, they have an house improv group that was going to open for me that night." And I said, "Yeah, so the improv group's in there." And I'm going, "So?" And they go, "Well, they're rehearsing." I said,
What?
They're what? They're rehearsing." I said, "Is it just me, or do the words improv and rehearsing not go together?" They said, "No, no, no, no. The improv group's got to rehearse." Well, number one, they were not good. Number two, the opener that they had for me was even worse. And then I went on to headline the show, and the audience hated me. I was nowhere ready to headline. I made a huge mistake. I felt terrible about it. At the end of the week, I kind of held my hand behind my back as they handed me my money. And the manager guy who booked me was very, very nice. And he said, you won't be coming back." And I said, "Yeah, I know." Well, 5 years later, I go to get booked into the Yuck Yucks Comedy Circus, or Yuck Yucks Comedy Circuit. They had clubs all over Canada, huge, huge, like comedy store rooms. These were Yuck Yucks, and they were very nice rooms. And I call the Western Booker for the Yuck Yucks, which, are the Western provinces. And I get this booker on the phone, and I'm talking to him, and I said, "Yeah, my name's Mike Wally Walter. I'm a comic out of the Seattle, Washington area, and I was calling to see you about." And he goes, "Well, wait a minute, Mike Wally Walter?" And I went, "Yeah. Who am I speaking to?" He goes, "Well, this is Bill Robinson, and I'm the booker for Yuck Yucks." And I'm going, "Bill, why does your name sound familiar?" And he goes, "Well, Mike, I used to be the booker for the Brass Rail in Calgary, Alberta." And I went, "Oh, I believe I work for you." And he goes, "Yeah, and I believe you won't be working for me." And I went, "But Bill, that was 5 years ago." And he goes, "Mike, that was really, really bad." So I never got to work Yuck Yucks. And I always try to tell comics when they're starting out and they ask me for advice, I say, don't try to peak too soon. Don't think you're a headliner when you're not ready for it. Think you're a headliner and then try to do some headline sets, but don't bank on being a headliner. Just work and hone your craft and continue to build up a reservoir of jokes, but don't jump in there or it'll screw you up for the rest of your life, which it did for me. So I had to find different venues to do that stuff with, and I'm happy.
So, how does one know when they're ready to headline?
when they can do a solid hour and have great laughs throughout that solid hour, not just your buddies laughing. You know,
Gotcha. That's a lot of material. Wow.
you should be able to go up on stage, grab that audience, and hold them for an entire hour, and take them up and down and up and down and up and down, and just keep them laughing.
Wow. So that is a headliner. I did not know that till now. That's amazing.
Yeah. So
Cool.
you watch any of the classics, even Rickles or Buddy Hackett. They always have control of their audience. Bob Newhart is another one that's great at that. Phenomenal comedians. Um, Denny Johnson will do that for an hour, just keep you going. Rich Scheidner does it. Patton Oswalt, Brian Posehn, any of those guys, they all have that ability to keep you going.
Wow.
Yep. So, what else? What else, Stevie?
What else have we got? Anyone got any questions out there? I mean, I think you've pretty well hit almost everything. Except you like to your Showgirls tour in Vegas at the Harris. Any interesting stories about that?
Yeah. I was in Showgirls, and I loved Showgirls.
Your Showgirls as like you're performing like with without your shirt and chaps and stuff.
You just walked all over my punchline.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I the first one show I was in was Rhinestone. No, come back, Stevie. You're fine. Quit pouting. One show I did was Rhinestone Cowgirls, and that was a family show because the worst thing on that show was their butt cheeks were cut out of the chaps that they wore. So they had on little tops, with fringes on them and stuff, and then these chaps, but their ass cheeks were cut out, so you could see their butts on them, and beautiful women. Most of them were beautiful women, and yeah. And the second show was called Showgirls, and that was a topless review. So, and trust me, a lot of these girls were topless. Nothing there. It's just, I want to show us, hey, you can put an eye out with that, but no, not these, no. But they were, and then I was in that show, and here you go, my breasts were so sore. I was in the topless review. See, that would have gone over a lot better earlier, but that's okay. You're fine, Stevie. Anyway, I had 7 beautiful showgirls in my show. And you know what, Steve? I was in the dressing room right next to him.
Right next to him, but it's not good enough.
No. First week I was there, found a hole drilled into the wall. Looked right into their dressing room. And I thought to myself, I'm going to plug that up. But then I realized, oh, what the hell? Let them look. If they want to. That's just going to be that way.
Greg Thompson asks, was this a Greg Thompson production show?
Yes, it was a Greg Thompson production show.
Really?
It wasn't our Greg Thompson. It was it was the other white-haired, mullet-wearing Greg Thompson that had all these shows in Reno and Vegas and Laughlin and Philadelphia. And yeah, I just finally got into work with him, and he was paying me really great money. And then I was supposed to go to Mississippi to work in the Biloxi, Mississippi, to work at a Harrah's there. And then Katrina hit, and it just threw everything into the pooper.
Oh.
Yeah. So lost all that work, and then Greg Thompson kind of just went out of business. And now he's just managing his wife, Sunny Thompson, who does a hell of a Marilyn Monroe show.
Okay.
What?
Gotcha. No, you said his son is doing a Marilyn Monroe show?
No. His wife, Sunny Thompson.
Oh, his Sunny. Gotcha. Right.
Yeah, her name is Sunny, but it's a female. She's all female. She's doing a Marilyn Monroe tribute show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You like to hang out with? Oh, geez, you have met a lot of comedians like Jeff Foxworthy, Bob Hope.
I
Um,
never met Bob Hope.
was Bob Hope? It was sorry, it was a guy that was on The Big Bang Theory. Forget his name. Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart. Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Bob. Yeah. Bob Newhart. I met Bob Newhart. Newhart was doing a show at the same casino where I met Rickles at. And Gwen and I had gone up to see Bob Newhart. Well, Bob Newhart's daughter lives in Seattle, and this is where this casino is. So my agent makes arrangements for us to meet Bob Newhart. So we watch the show. Brilliant show. We're in line. We're getting ready to go backstage to meet him. I'm in my tuxedo. Gwen's dressed up. And Bob's daughter looks at him and says, "Look, Dad, he looks just like Uncle Don." Because Newhart and Rickles were very, very good friends, best friends. And so I get up to Newhart. Newhart looks at me and he goes, "People tell you look like Rickles." And when Rickles told me I look like Rickles, he said it was like looking in a mirror. And that's great because I do a tribute act to him. He says, "Really, what do you do?" And I grabbed him by the lapel and I said, "I'll tell you this, Bob, you're not that funny anymore." And I turned around and I walked away. And Bob Newhart said, "Yeah, it's Rickles." Yeah, very nice man. One wonderful human being. And just the nicest guy. Then I played in a celebrity golf tournament in 2017 with Alice Cooper, Jeff Foxworthy. You got a picture of Foxworthy there? Yep, there's Foxworthy. God, who else?
I hope you don't remember because I don't have their pictures.
You just have those two?
Yeah, those are the ones I could find and steal.
Okay.
I mean, download.
Download. Well, that's fine. Yeah, because I got pictures with me and Tony Orlando, me and Charlie Daniels. I didn't get pictures. I opened for Tanya Tucker, but she didn't want to even meet me. She was not a nice lady. Yeah. So I didn't get a picture with her, but I opened a week later with Charlie Daniels. Charlie was a very nice man. Had pictures taken with him. Lenny Clark. Lenny Clark is a huge Boston comic, and at one point in time, TV Guide put him on the cover of TV Guide because he was going to be the male equivalent of Roseanne. He had a show that was coming out, the Lenny Show, and it didn't happen. It didn't make it. But funny man. And I booked him. Steve Landesberg, who used to be on Barney Miller, he played Sergeant Dietrich. Great guy. I booked him into a casino in Washington State. I picked him up in Portland. We're driving up. We stop at a gas station. He gets out. He's pumping my gas. And his picture's been in the paper. And people recognize him. So this guy pulls up and he goes, "Hey, aren't you Sergeant Dietrich from Barney Miller?" And he goes, "Steve Landesberg, how you doing?" He says, "What the hell are you doing here in Ritzville?" And he goes, "Right now I'm pumping Wally's gas." Just cool as a cucumber, didn't miss a beat. Just a nice man. Yeah. So I've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of comics. Mitch Hedberg used to open for me. Brian Posehn, who was on Just Shoot Me, and was on Big Bang. Also, he was the geology guy, the rock guy. Yeah. He went on tour as my opening act. We did a tour across Montana, and people weren't digging him, man. They just didn't understand him. I thought he was hilarious and a super nice guy. And yeah, that was kind of cool.
And also, you told me that you are good friends with a guy called, a stage name is Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter I met in a celebrity golf tournament, and they came up here to Olympia. And, he was staying at a hotel downtown, and I came down and picked him up in my car. Well, I ended up getting Gwen's uncle's car, which was a 2008 or 2004 Chevy Monte Carlo. So I go down to pick up Sergeant Savage, and he goes, "This is the same year Monte Carlo I got. Mine's all black." So I said, "Do you like music?" He goes, "I love music." So we went downtown to where Gwen's son is a drummer. He was playing in this band. So we walked in, Gwen and I with Sergeant Slaughter, and went in to listen to her son's band. And everybody's freaking out because people are looking at him going, is that Sergeant Slaughter? It looks like Sergeant Slaughter, but he's not wearing, his Marine hat and all that. But it was Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, nice guy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm impressed. I mean, I got to meet him at the Cauliflower Alley Club, and it was just like hi, how you doing? I'm a fan of yours. Can I have your picture? Click, and that was it. That was mine.
Yeah.
You know. But
Yeah.
still,
I'm gonna find that video. I'll find a video of him and I together in the golf cart.
oh, cool. That sounds like it was a fun time.
Yeah, it was a great time. He was just a hoot. He actually has a pair of GI issue boots. The boots that tuck into your pants or whatever, the pant legs,
Right.
that have golf spikes on the bottom of them, soft spikes. Yeah,
Hope he never wears
especially
that
made.
to the ring.
Huh?
Hope he
No.
never wears that to the ring.
Oh no, not to the ring, but he wears it on the golf course because he wears the whole attire, the hat, the whole works. He's a funny man. Yep.
Wow. Is there anything else you want to tell all your fans and friends out there before we call it a night?
February 12th, I'll be at the Orange Blossom Opry in Weirsdale, Florida. If you're in the villages, come see me. I believe that we're adding on special guests. George Trulinger is going to appear there also. And I just heard a little bird tell me that my good buddy Tim Sells, who is a phenomenal Kenny Rogers, is going to swing by and do a couple of numbers. And then he might sing.
So February 12th at the Orange Blossom, is it?
It's the Orange Blossom Opry in Weirsdale, Florida. And I'll tell you what, it's one of the nicest venues. It's a 650 seat theater, but with the COVID restrictions, they're only seating 200 max. So get your tickets early. The last time I was there was with the Don and Dean show, and we sold it out at 650 seats. The owners are absolutely wonderful. The food there is great. There you go. That's it. Come see us. We're going to have a hoot.
That sounds like fun. I wish I could go down there, but I'm in a foreign country and they're kind of not letting us in. This COVID thing, really weird.
You don't want to come in. Nice people come in and they come down to a certain area and then they turn orange and mean.
I heard of that.
Yeah.
It was a great year, though. It's going to be even better now. Fantastic.
It is. It's a wonderful year coming up. I'm looking forward to it immensely. And I'm looking forward to seeing all my friends, wherever they are. And Steve, I got to tell you, it's a pleasure meeting you. And I think
Pleasure is mine.
No, don't get overexcited. Anyway, all you want is a cookie, isn't it? Just give me a cookie and I'll go away.
Greg Thompson. Very cool. He's going to try and make it.
Oh, that'd be wonderful to see you there, Greg. And nice to be seeing you in men's clothing for a change too. So there you go, Steve. Thanks for dressing up for me tonight. I'm gonna go hang this up because I think I got another gig coming up in February.
Fair enough. Thank you for giving me your time and letting me get to know you.
Thank you very much for letting me be on your show. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Well, you made me laugh. We just went on for hours and fantastic guest. I'm glad I learned so much about you and I'm able to share your story.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. You take care and we'll talk soon.
Oh, for sure. And I hope to see you soon.
Okay. Take care, buddy.
Hey, take care.
Bye, Bonnie.
Bonnie and Jamie and Angela and Greg and Karen and Dave, if all these people are still here, thank you.
Thank you.
And Terry or Camille, keep calling her Terry.
Camille and Leon.
Camille and Leon, yeah.
Yeah.
She says, great interview, guys. Angela loves us both. Yay! And all right,
Angela's such a sweetheart.
isn't she? She took
She
over your Miss Congeniality Award after
did
you
she get
left.
it last year?
She did.
Yeah. Is she in the Hall of Fame for it?
Oh, that's how it's gonna go, right?
Yeah. I won it 3 times.
Oh, really? Well, do you have one of these?
What is that?
It's an Oscar for best doctor.
Oh, no, I don't
I
have one
I
of those.
do.
Yeah.
So there.
I have all those. I got like 12 trophies hanging on the wall. There's 12 on that wall, and there's 6 over here. Oh, that one's a trophy from golfing.
Well, mine's best doctor. So there.
That's well, you are a good doctor. You're a good Doctor Evil, Stevel.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, you take care.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you very much. Get a haircut.